Whiteout Mercy, the night Lake Erie walked uptown. The plows vanished into the white. My winch screamed like a siren, and a voice on MedNet, one I didn't know yet, said my name like headlights. Dante, do not take the Skyway. Bring them up Elmwood to Gates Circle. I'll have a crash cart at the dock door now. I'm Dante Caruso, 30, heavy wrecker operator out of South Buffalo. My office is a Peterbilt that smells like diesel, coffee, and mild regrets. And my job is putting steel where it belongs when weather has other ideas. I grew up on Abbott Road, learned my first swear from a snowblower, my first prayer from Aunt Rita's cold rosary, and the difference between lake effect and just snow the hard way, by living here. Give me a chainsaw and a tow chain, and I can turn a drift into a suggestion. Give me a radio and I'll make strangers into a convoy. Nights like this, I'm a plow whisperer, a bus babysitter, and sometimes, when the city runs out of nouns, hope. The night it happened, Lake Erie did that trick where it remembers it's shallow, warmish, and mean. The band set up west to east like a bar fight. NWS Buffalo put us in lake effect emergency by noon. By 5 p.m., visibility got promoted to rumor. DPW called every plow, DOT shut the Skyway, Thruway went to a parking lot with opinions. I was already on hour 10, 2 stalled semis on Niagara St., 1 metro bus that needed a shove on Hurdle, a pickup that thought 4-wheel drive means no physics. At 5:43, MedNet patched onto our city ops channel. That's rare. It means somebody decided ambulances need a convoy that smells like diesel and optimism. The new voice was trained calm, Lake Erie in vowels, smart in cadence. Dante Caruso, he said, like we'd already agreed to help each other. This is Elias Moreno, respiratory therapist at Gates Vascular. We've got 3 vents and a portable O2 manifold stuck on a shuttle at Ohio and Hamburg. NICU is down 2 tanks. Skyway is closed. I-190 is a rumor. If you try Tift, you'll sleep there. I can keep MedNet quiet for you, but I need a land route. Can you pull that shuttle and escort it up Elmwood? He said my name like headlights on fresh snow. Less romance, more survival, which around here is the same thing. Copy Gates, I said. This is Unit 17 on Abbott near Smith. 2 miles from your shuttle if I pretend lanes are ideas. We'll grab it and make a plow sandwich up Elmwood. You put someone at the dock door with a sled. Done, he said. I'll be that someone, but the truly shocking part hadn't happened yet. I took South Park North because South Park was the only road that pretended to be a road. The band hit like a pillow fight with bricks. Wipers did interpretive dance. The tow haul button and I became the kind of friends who share secrets. At Ohio and Hamburg, the hospital shuttle sat crosswise in a wind crust, hazard lights offering a sermon. Driver's face said January and regret. I nosed the Peterbilt in, laid chain like jewelry on a giant, and hooked the pintle with a kiss you only do sober. Unit 17 to City Ops. I've got the Gates shuttle. Request 2 plows northbound to Elmwood Corridor. Escort speed will be whatever the wind allows. Ops copies, dispatch said, sounding like a wool blanket. Plow 4 and Plow 7 diverting from Seneca. Police at Porter will hold traffic that isn't traffic. MedNet switched back in. Dante, Elias said. Shuttle's got NICU O2, a vent cart, and 1 RT named Priya, who's been bagging a transfer baby for 20 minutes. You'll hear her. Don't let the sound scare you. It didn't scare me. It made me memorize the road. We pulled. We crawled. We traded momentum like currency. Plow 4 broke a lane and learned it was a rumor. Plow 7 ate the drift we didn't need. The shuttle stayed true, wheels finding tracks like Braille. On Elk, a box truck tried to be a sculpture. We went around. On Michigan, a cop stood in white like a punctuation mark, waving us through a red that had forgotten how to glow. Humboldt Parkway felt like a tunnel carved by exhausted angels. I thought the convoy was the hard part, but the whiteout wasn't our only problem. The hospital had a secret I couldn't tow. Gates, I said into MedNet. We're 5 out if 5 has a meaning. Talk me into your dock. North on Elmwood, right at Gates Circle if the world allows, back down the service lane. We'll have cones like Christmas trees. We've got manual doors if the motor sulks. Priya says thanks. Her hands say hurry. I could hear bagging in the background. Quiet whoosh, metronome on a bad day. I could hear Elias breathing for other people. I could hear a hospital doing math with air. We made Gates Circle like a ship makes harbor, slow with opinions. Plow 7 carved a slot. I swung wide. The shuttle tucked in. A guy in a parka and badge, Elias, stood under the dock light, face bare, eyes exact. Up close, he was early 30s, Mexican-American by the music in his vowels, Buffalo by the shoulders. Scrubs under Carhartt, beard stubble, snow in more places than you can count. He had a sled, a cart, and a look that told time in breaths. "Dante?" he said. "Elias." My voice did that stupid drop a voice does when it's grateful and pretending it's not. We moved like a three-person sentence. He and Priya took the vent cart and the baby. Little bundle, big tubes. I took the tanks because I have a relationship with weight. We slid into the dock and the door remembered its job. Inside, warm hit wet and made a smell that I've always thought is what hope would smell like if it had a body. "RT Station 2, he said, pointing with his chin while his hands kept being smarter than mine. "We'll trade bag for vent and pray our backup doesn't do the hiccup it likes." He handed the bag to a nurse. Click tubing, adjusted PEEP, and said soft things to a human who wouldn't remember them but would benefit anyway. His face did math with mercy. "You okay?" He asked me without looking because his eyes were married to the monitor. "I keep being," I said. "You?" He nodded. "Me too." The vent alarm piped once. The pressure curve did a little tantrum, and every adult in the room turned their body one click toward it like a prayer wheel. The vent behaved, because tonight was letting us have small wins. Priya wiped her eyes with her sleeve and called me sir, which I will be thinking about for a while. Elias handed me a coffee like contraband and said, "I'm stealing you for one more. Take me," I said, and meant it in too many ways. "MedNet," he said into his lapel. "Elias with Gates, we've got NICU stable for a breath. County reports BLS-3 with COPD is stuck at Forest and Amherst. Oxygen tank a quarter, snowdrift a liar. Can my toe run the Blizzard Uber for air?" "Unit 17 copies," I said. "Give me address, floor, door code if the world still respects door codes." "Ground floor, back alley door that doesn't have a code because Buffalo," he said. "Bring the old man to me. I'll have a BiPAP warmed like soup. Wait, don't miss this detail." Back out in the white, Elmwood had turned into confetti. Plow 4 gave me a lane and a salute. I crawled past Delaware Park, which tried to look proud and failed adorably. At Forest and Amherst, a BLS ambulance sat catty-corner in a drift, pretending to be a mattress. 2 EMTs, one old, one new, worked a stretcher like it was a relationship. Careful, with some disagreement. "I'm 17, I said. "Which part of the world wants to move?" "Back alley," the older EMT said, breath making clouds, buffalo accent a foot thick. "Man's name is Mr. Kazlowski. He says he already shoveled." He did not. We made a path with the Peterbilt like a big dog plowing a child's fort. Back door open, polite, cold. Inside, a living room of Afghans, bills, a crucifix, and a man whose lungs had decided to be dramatic. Pulse ox said nope. His eyes said please. I said we've got you because sometimes lying kindly is a bridge to truth. We shuttled him to the truck. Strapped his chair in the passenger side because it has the best heat, gave him the last tank like a wedding gift, and rolled him toward Gates while he told me about 1966. The Blizzard people here uses punctuation. I nodded the way you nod when history makes itself present. At the dock, Elias met us with BiPAP like a treat. He set Mr. Kazlowski up in a hallway bay because beds are fiction during events like this. Air became cooperative. Mr. K squeezed my hand and said God bless, which is also currency here. "You okay?" Elias asked again. "Ritual now." "I keep being," I said. "You?" He tipped his head toward the staff lounge. "Give me 30 seconds, he said, which is how men who know how to count ask for everything. I thought the hospital would let me go, but Lake Erie writes second acts at 2 a.m., and the next call made the white feel louder. MedNet again, edges sharp. Multiple stuck vehicles at Humboldt PKBY underpass. 1 pregnant, active contractions. Snow to doors. Fire was boxed out, PD was triaging, EMS was triangulating. The city does geometry under pressure. Can you get my wrecker under the bridge? I asked Ops. If you make your own math, Ops said. We did. Plow 7 went first like a vanguard, throwing white like a snow dragon. I wedged the Peterbilt into a gap the size of my optimism. Humboldt under 33 looked like a postcard of Antarctica designed by an architect of small insults. The first car had filled its door seams with teeth. Inside, a woman breathed on counts. Her partner did the face we all do when 2 clocks don't agree. "I'm Dante," I said, taking off gloves because warm skin is a tool. "We're going to move you backward like a piano, then forward like a wedding, then you'll be in a box that makes sirens. You will hate it and it will be necessary." She laughed once, brief, because humor is pain's sibling,